So it was July 3rd, and my family and I, from time to time, have gone to the fireworks at Utah State in Logan. And so I thought, okay, this would be a great opportunity. It's a Friday. It'd be a great opportunity to take the day off, ride my bike from Layton to Logan, and have my family meet me there. As I was riding probably 21, 22 miles an hour myself, a guy in a Jeep coming the other way turned in front of me. Didn't see me, and you could tell he didn't see me up until the point that I was, this far from the windshield and about to hit him, and he noticed me, and I locked up my brakes, kind of swerved back and forth. I knew if I T-boned it, I was going to either go through the side window or over the hood, and I knew that wouldn't be good. First thing any cyclist said, and clear, of course I said it as well, is my bike okay? I said to the EMT, hey, can you reach in the pocket of my jersey and grab my phone? I need to call my wife and tell her what's happened. So he does, he dials my wife, he puts the phone up to me because I can't even hold the phone because I'm strapped down. My wife answers the phone and she goes, hey, can you hang on just a minute? And I go, no, you got to hear this right now. So I told her what was going on, and so she obviously dropped everything, brought the kids, met me at the hospital, but went to the ER. They had to run a CT scan to understand if my lung had been punctured. They knew there were broken ribs. They did the CT scan, and then they admitted me, put me into a room, and the next day they came in and said, the ER doctor came in and said, hey, you've got some lymph nodes that are a little bit larger than they're supposed to be that we found, and we think that might be a cause for concern. And I said, okay, tell me what the potential is. Three things. It's either an infection or testicular cancer or lymphoma. And it was surreal. In my head I hear lymphoma, and I just was certain that's what it was. But the night before, she and I had both, independent of one another, felt, and what if we're here for a reason? What if this accident leads to something that's unforeseen? And clearly that was the case. So I would not have known had it not been for this. So they said, we're going to try this radiation. It may not necessarily cure it, big C cure it, but little c, it might, send it away. So that's what happened. It went away. And so that was January of 2010, and I went every 6 months for my regular checkups. And let me think this through. It would have been November of 2011, so almost 2 years later. We went in, and the doctor said, hey, the cancer's back. You kind of hear her say that, and things are going in slow motion, and wow, it's back again. And my wife and I, every time, have just said, it's not going to get me, right? We're just not going to let that happen. I'm going to stay fit, I'm going to stay active, do the best I can. What I learned, which most folks who go through something traumatic like this learn, is that all the things you think are important aren't. Obviously, your family is the most important, the relationships you have and so forth. Work doesn't matter as much. Cycling, which is my passion, cycling, that doesn't matter as much. There's so many things that just don't matter when you're faced with that. And the realization that I had really quickly was, you can curl up in a ball in bed and just stay there. You can kick the dog. You can scream and yell and rant and rave. When it's done, you still have cancer, right? So none of that's going to do any good. What you have to do is you got to live by faith. You can't have fear. You have to get up every day. I've got a mortgage. I've got kids to put in through college and everything else. I can't do any of that. So I have to get up every day, and I need to come to work, and I need to do what I can. But when you're at work, you can't mope around. It can't be on your face. You can't have people go, hey, what's up? Yeah, I got cancer. You can't live your life like that. You come to work every day, you do the best you can, and you just deal with it. So my motivation, I'll be honest, my number one motivation is, I'm not letting this thing get me, right? The 17 radiation treatments I did, I made a goal for myself that every morning I was going to get up and go to the gym and work out. And I hit the goal. I didn't miss one, even with the fatigue that comes with it and everything else. Because when I'm running, when I'm riding my bike, if I'm lifting weights, if I'm doing something, if I'm inflicting the pain, if I'm the one doing that, I'm in charge, and cancer's not in charge. And so my number one motivation has been simply, I'm not going to let it get me. I'm going to live as long as I can. I'm going to be as healthy as I can. If the cancer gets me, it won't be because I'm not healthy. It won't be because I'm not doing what I need to. I'm going to do that. My next one, obviously, is my family. I want to be here for my daughters. I have a daughter leaving on a mission in January. My youngest is 13. I want to see them married. I want to see grandkids. I want to enjoy my life with my wife. I want to do all those kinds of things. So that's a motivation. And then the third one really is it's a platform for me to help raise awareness and raise funds for cancer. My mom was diagnosed in 2008, and when she was, I used to ride my bike and raise money for MS and for diabetes, which are very worthy causes. And then when I was diagnosed, clearly it was, well, I'm not going to raise money for any other charity, all very noble charities, but this one matters to me. It's personal for me. If you take the non-get in an accident Todd Handy, would he be any more aware of cancer? Probably not. I'd be like every other guy out there, except for my mom's diagnosis. I'd probably be the same thing. We think we're invincible. We think we're tough. We're dudes. We don't need to worry about that. For women, we think a lot about the month of October. We think about pink. We think about all of that. We know that women, it's breast self-exams and those kinds of things. We hear that. And women seem more open to that and more willing to say, hey, I may need some help. Guys, we're not necessarily that way. We can't be brave, because I don't care how tough you are. When you hear those words, you have cancer, you're probably going to want to cry. You're probably going to want to kick the dog. You want to curl up in a ball. So you think you're tough, but when that diagnosis comes, you ain't that tough, right? Grow the beard, grow the mustache, raise the funds, everything else. But that's the face forward. Behind that, you got to do whatever you can for your loved ones and your family to be around as long as you can. I guess the biggest thing I can say is that there's hope. I know it sounds cliche. I don't know if you find out and you're going to live for 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, 60 years, whatever the case may be. But we're all fighting. That's what Movember is about. That's what Huntsman Hometown Heroes is about. That's what Livestrong and all these other groups are trying to raise awareness and raise funds. It's a dark day when you hear that. No one wants to hear that. No one wakes up and says, please tell me I have cancer. But when you do, you got to know there's hope. You got to know that kicking the dog, curling up in a ball, none of that's going to matter. You're going to have to do what you can. You're surrounded by family. You're surrounded by friends. You can't throw the stone without finding someone else who's been impacted by cancer. So you've got a support network in place. You meet a guy who's got cancer and he's immediately your friend as well. You're surrounded by really good people who want to help you, and there's hope. That's probably what I would say.